Excuse me while I drink my dick. Just to confirm, it says dick. I haven't done a mental health Q&A in a while. The last one I did, I think, got taken down. I don't know why. Oh, I do. I fucking hate YouTube. So I asked you guys for some questions on my social media. So let's begin. Did you ever have really bad sleeping problems and how did you tackle it? I had the worst sleeping problems, awful sleeping problems. Sleep for me was non-existent. I remember not sleeping for 3 days straight. Yeah, I think most people with kind of quite bad anxiety have definitely have or have had sleeping problems. How did I tackle it? You all know I love that book called At Last a Life by Paul David. With sleep, he says that basically it doesn't matter how much sleep you get. So say you get 3 hours, you just wake up and you think, well, maybe you haven't woken up, you haven't been asleep. You just think, well, that's how many hours of sleep I've got. I can't do anything about it now, it's in the past. So I'm just gonna have to try and get through the day as much as possible. Sit down when I need to, rest when I need to, have a nap if I need to. And that's definitely something that I tried to do, and it took quite a long time to be okay with that, because often it was like 3 hours sleep, and obviously doing a full day's work on 3 hours sleep is hard, but you just have to get through it, and then you're kind of like making it seem like sleep isn't a big deal. Because the problem I had, and the problem other people have, is that you're making sleep this, and I know sleep is important, but you almost want to make it less important because you're thinking, I must get sleep, I must go to bed at 9 o'clock, I must not look at my phone, I must not look at my laptop. I know there's a lot of people that do all these routines, like don't look at your phone for 2 hours before bed, don't do this, don't do that. But for me, all of that made it worse, because years ago when I slept fine, I would be watching stuff in bed till 11 and go straight to sleep. So I don't really follow the train of thought of that you have to do all these routines, but maybe you do and that's fine. Yeah, it was just making sleep much less of a big deal, not making this huge thing around it for me. And then slowly over time it kind of got better and I would get a bit more sleep, maybe like 5 hours or 6 hours even, which was obviously amazing. My sleep now isn't perfect by any means. I still go through bad patches where I don't get much sleep at all, but I just learned to be okay with that, and last night I slept really well. I think I got about 8 hours, which is amazing for me. I don't think I've had that since I was a baby. So yeah, it's not perfect, but when I don't have much sleep the next day, I just don't put too much pressure on myself, and I don't, even if I've got things to do, I'll kind of prioritise them and I'll leave the less important ones for another day, because Rome wasn't built in a day. Just need some more dick. How do I stop dreading going out even though I really want to? I definitely had this 100% when I was very, very anxious, when I was kind of going through my breakdown. I would definitely not want to socialise with people, I wouldn't really want to talk to people, I wouldn't want to look at them, I found it very hard, all of that. To be honest, it's just about repetition, and it's just about training your brain to think it's okay to be out and it's okay to talk to people. And again, slowly over time, your brain's like, oh actually she's feeling a bit better about seeing people, and this is normal and it's fine, so it kind of like then starts to die down with it, and then you should be able to kind of go out more. I think the whole feeling the fear and doing it anyway is so important with this. You cannot let anxiety rule your life, and you cannot let it make you become insular and be a hermit and stay indoors. Of course sometimes it's lovely to stay indoors. The weather's shit today, this morning. I'm not going out, can't be arsed, but that's fine. And also make sure it's something that you actually want to be doing. Like, you don't need to force yourself into something you really don't want to do, as in you're meeting a group of friends that you don't really like that much. That's not going to be very nice. It's all about surrounding yourself with people that also understand how you're feeling and what you're going through. During my breakdown I did kind of cut out a lot of people because I realised they didn't add anything to my life, and I didn't really want to go and see them, so why was I friends with them? So you almost have things you want to go and do because you love those people. How has your mental health been since being with Jake, and how does he feel about it? So Jake also suffers from anxiety, which has its positives and negatives to it, as you can imagine. It can be quite hard when we're both feeling a bit shit, but at the same time it's so lovely that he understands what I'm going through, so that's been really nice. He's been the most incredible support for my mental health. I had a really bad day a few weeks ago, didn't really know what to do with myself, and he came over and we just lay on my bed for about an hour, and he just hugged me, and it was lovely, and I felt so much better after. All that kind of stuff is amazing, and he's just been, he's just been amazing about all that. Men for me are quite a trigger. My experience with men is not that anyone's been really mean to me, but I haven't had very like normal relationships. I've never actually been in a normal relationship. I've had long distance relationships. My ex, I never really had him, and I was obsessed with him because he just didn't love me back. So men are quite a big trigger for me, and this is something I work through with my therapist quite a lot. I have a thing about not feeling like I deserve to be loved, and I'm always scared people are gonna leave me. Jake has sometimes been a bit of a trigger for me, but when you love someone, it's something that you just kind of like have to work through. But yeah, it's definitely, meeting him was one of the best things that ever happened to me, without a doubt. I was thinking about this. I think it's hard for anyone with really bad anxiety to be in relationships, because people have triggers and you're not like a neurotypical where, you know, you're like that. It's like that, and it is hard. And I'm open about that because I think on Instagram and stuff, there's a lot of, you know, all these couples, you know, kissing and smiling and, oh, we're here, oh, everything's great, blah, blah, but that's not real life. And you know me, I love to talk about all that behind the scenes stuff. So yeah, I am very open about that. And I think it helps people because there is no perfect relationship. And I think that's something I also have been working on. Nothing is perfect. Nothing. What was the main thing that got you through your anxiety? If you had to say one thing you have learnt, what would it be? That's a very easy one for me to answer. Talk about it. That was probably the sole reason I got through it, if I'm honest. I couldn't imagine being my age when my parents were my age because no one spoke about it. It was this thing that you couldn't talk about, and my dad suffered quite badly, and obviously he got through it, but he never really spoke about it to anyone, and I can't imagine how isolating and lonely that must feel. I think that is a lot of the reason why many people do take their own lives, because they are trapped and they think that nothing will get better, and they think that they're the only person that feels like that. And so by talking about it, you realise how many people feel the same way you do. So I was talking to this lady at work yesterday where I personal train. I'm holding a fitness event soon for a mental health charity. I was like, oh, are you coming? And she said, yeah, of course I am. You're like my hero. I was like, really? She was like, oh, just the way you talk about it, and I have really bad depression, and I only recently got diagnosed, and I'm, you know, like 40, no one ever knew, and it was amazing. And I felt like I was doing such a good thing by talking about it, because I do think you can over talk about it, and I hope I don't do that, because I don't think that's healthy, but we have to talk about it, because you can only have hope that things can get better from other people. Without other people's stories, how do you know things can get better? And of course you'll feel lonely with what you're going through if you don't know anyone else is going through what you're going through. It's so simple to me, but I understand that some people do find it hard to talk about it. You don't have to be as open as I am and talk about it on Instagram and YouTube and stuff. Just telling anyone can honestly be such a load off. Getting it off your chest it just feels really good, and you'd be surprised how many people relate. You really would. How do you feel about medication versus non-medication style treatment? It's a very interesting question for me at the moment. So I recently did an Instagram post about the fact that I've decided to go on medication. I won't bore you with the whole story, but in a nutshell, I tried about 4 medications years ago when I was having my breakdown, and it was the worst time of my life. I stupidly went to this really expensive psychiatrist who I didn't feel safe with. I didn't really trust her. Just thought because she was so expensive that she must be really good. Tried a lot of different medications. I was on a lot of different types of benzodiazepines and antipsychotics and more. And I was like, no, cannot do this anymore, literally can't. Stopped everything, didn't go on anything for 4 years. The thing is, I'm technically fine. I can enjoy life, I can work, I can socialise, I have plans for my future, I'm ambitious. These are all things that I didn't have for a long time. But there's always anxiety, and I think recently, it's actually almost meeting Jake that gave me the strength to go to the doctor about it. I just wanted to know if I could find something that toned it down a bit, I guess. I have always been one to say I don't judge anyone however they want to treat their own mental health, medication, non-medication. I have literally no judgment, it's completely up to the person. Yeah, I just wanted to see if I could find something that more made me a bit like this, rather than like this, not to go through the really low patches, which are hard. Because I tried a few different ones a few years ago, found out you can do this DNA test, which looks at antidepressants and it says which ones wouldn't work for your body and which ones might. So it's not like these ones will work, it's more like those won't work. So it kind of like takes them out, if you know what I mean. I had quite a lot of ones that wouldn't work. I found a lovely new doctor recommended by my friend. I need to find a doctor that I feel very safe with, who are lovely, even if they don't care about me, because I've got so many patients. I want them to pretend they care about me. That's all I care about. And so we agreed on a medication. I don't really want to say what it is because I don't want to get into this thing about someone saying, oh, I hate it, it didn't work for me, oh, it made me really ill. I don't need any of that, so I don't like to say what I'm on. But yeah, I agreed on a medication and I've been on it for two weeks and 3 days. I'm not really feeling any different yet because I know it takes time and sometimes you have to work up to a certain dose. But I definitely haven't lost my shit on it and I haven't had any really horrible side effects, so I think that's a really good thing, because before I had really bad side effects on a lot of them. With medication versus non-medication, it's completely up to the person, however you want to deal with your own mental health. I think you definitely can't just rely on it. Like, fitness is unbelievable for me, for my mental health, so it's kind of a combination of everything. But yeah, it's up to the individual really. What are the steps one can take to stop falling into the same pit? I guess everyone has different ways of coping, don't they? So it's quite hard, there's not really a one rule for all. For me, if I know I'm going through a bad phase, I take things away, I don't add. So if I have a lot, it's a bit like the sleep thing, if I've got a lot of things that I want to do, I just don't do them all. I just do things that I really have to do and then I leave the rest until I feel a bit better. So I try and simplify my life a lot. So I tend to do a lot of hot yoga. I don't have many plans. I give myself kind of the evenings to relax and just chill. And that's how I kind of stop myself falling into the same pit. Just simplify everything really. What are the key triggers for your anxiety? Men? Life changes. Weirdly, I'm someone that like gets excited by change but also freaks me out. I guess it's the fear of the unknown, isn't it? And also kind of something being out of your control. Anxiety is all about control. What can you do when you believe there's absolutely nothing else you can do and you are on the verge of ending it all? I have to say I have been there. I know how it feels to not think you can carry on feeling like how you're feeling. I always tell people on my Instagram is that everything changes. Life is not one straight road. It changes all the time. Something always changes, someone changes, a situation changes. You just have to know that how you are feeling will change. What we don't know is when, but it always changes, and that is something that I really do strongly believe. And actually, well, it is a fact. Things always change. So how you're feeling right now is not how you're going to feel forever. I know it just feels like that at the time. That's just anxiety lying to you. Looking back to where I was to where I am now is, I mean, it's impossible. I couldn't even imagine my life would be like what it is now. And that was just by carrying on and just believing things will change at some point. Besides anxiety, do you have any tics that amp up under pressure? So when I was about 12, I had really bad nervous twitches. I would go, and I would do this. Oddly, that one, I can get back. I can control it in the sense that I don't do it in front of anyone else now. I just do it by myself. You know, I do have them sometimes, but nowhere near as bad as they used to be. They're definitely more under control now. How do I not carry over anxieties caused by past relationships into new ones? Well, as you can see, I know all about them. It's hard. So when I met Jake, I actually got a therapist who specialises in relationships. She is one of the most amazing people that I've ever entered my life. She's helped me so much. I really was, I wouldn't say traumatised, but I just had a lot of triggers around men and relationships. She's just really helped me. It's not like opinions from friends where you can be like, oh, you should do this, oh, you should do this, and you're like, oh, I don't know what to do. She really dissects it and analyses it and really works out why you're thinking a certain way and how to tackle something. So my advice would be to, if you can, get a therapist to help you, because you can't work that kind of stuff out by yourself. I think it's too hard, too many voices, and so for me, that is what really helped me. We've all got shit from past relationships, I guess, at a certain age that we can carry over. But I guess it's finding someone that you want to tackle those issues about. So if they're important enough that you want to make it work. I'm going to do a final one because I feel like this video has been super long. Hey guys, I'm really sorry. Don't know what happened. My laptop deleted the end of the video. So it deleted the last question and also me ending the video. So it's a different day. but I'm going to carry on. So the last question was, what was the turning point that made you realise you needed help? So I can remember this day very, very vividly. It was a Sunday. It was about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I was just pacing my flat up and down like a mad woman. I didn't know what to do. I was by myself, and I saw a half-opened bottle of red wine in the kitchen, and I thought to myself, if I just have a few sips of that, I know I'll feel a bit better. And then I think I thought to myself, fuck, this is not good. Like, I need help. I can't do this by myself. So I called up my sisters and I got them to take me to A&E. I didn't really know what else to do, to be honest. It was a Sunday, so I had less options, and I don't know, I just think, I kind of knew they weren't going to be able to help me, but at the same time I just wanted to feel like I was doing something towards kind of trying to help me. So I went to A&E. It was a horrific waste of time. I mean, they were absolute shit, to be honest. They gave me a leaflet for counselling and was like, oh, come back and see us if you don't feel good in a week, or whatever. Anyway, the next day I went to the Priory and saw a psychiatrist and all that stuff. But yeah, it was kind of that day I remember thinking, if I just had that wine, it would make me feel better. And that was when I knew I really needed help. So that's it. I'm really sorry that it's a different day that I'm filming now. I was just like, oh no, I've lost the rest of the files. Anyway, worse things have happened. So yeah, that's it for this mental health Q&A. I really hope that it has helped people so much. That's one of the only things I care about, making you laugh in some videos and making you feel like you're not alone in the other videos. So I hope I have done that in this one. I talk about all this stuff. I talk about mental health a lot on my Instagram. I do hopefully helpful daily posts on it. So yeah, I'll leave my link down below if you want to come check me out. I'll also leave my Patreon down below if you want to come and support me, since YouTube does not pay me anymore. That would be amazing if you donated to me on there. Doesn't matter how much, every little helps. And that's enough plugging from me. I'm gonna go. I hope everyone is really well. When is this going up? Easter Monday. So yeah, I hope everyone had a lovely Easter or is having a lovely Easter. I love you all. Thank you so much for sticking around and being so supportive. And that's it.